found us. More podcast, where we want you to know God more deeply, find lasting freedom, discover your destiny and make an eternal difference. Now.
Hey, good morning, everybody, because it is morning for us, and we are alive and awake, and the day is actually really good. I mean, I have no weather complaints this week, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some rain, but...
We were driving home last night. What were we doing? I can't remember what we're doing, but driving home last night, and over the bay in Petoskey, the sunset, man, we're here.
Yeah.
It was the best. It was like, this is why we live here.
It was a great day.
This is why we live here.
For these 3 months.
Yeah.
That's what we live
No
for.
way, man. I am a firm believer in Northern Michigan.
For the winter, you are too?
No, but
okay.
like you got the until December.
Yeah.
Those extra 4 months of fall, 3 months of fall, that's the perfect time of year.
Yeah,
no place I'd rather be.
It is. I mean, yeah, you got to hold on to that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
You got to hold on to the memories. Hold on to those things.
But it was a really pretty sunset, and it reminded me of like, it's so funny because like when it gets warm out and the sun comes out, everyone's attitude changes around Northern Michigan. You know, everyone's like, life's gonna be okay.
We're gonna make it. It's kind of like the rainbow after the flood.
Things are gonna be just fine.
Well, and the thing is, this is the funny part. I've noticed this with my wife and I because we've lived up here for so long, been a part of Northern Michigan for so long. You drive by this amazing bay that people pay big bucks to come up and see. You know, here in Petoskey.
Yeah,
and she's on her phone. And we're driving by it, and it was just a beautiful day. The sun was on the water. I mean, just perfect. And I'm like, man, Amy, look at that. And she's like, yeah, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do we get to that point in our lives? I do that too. I'm like, I just totally ignore the beauty around me, you know? So I don't know.
Yeah, I have to remind myself. Well, you have a drive too when you go home. I have to remind myself of like, this is your 20-minute little decompress and look at beauty time.
Look around.
Because you're going to have that time in the car.
Right.
But
at least,
do you mind your drive?
I don't.
Yeah.
It actually seems shorter now.
Okay.
Than we first moved here. You know.
Really?
Yeah, because you're just so used to it now.
Yep.
So it doesn't seem that long.
I get a little. I call my mom. That's my time to like check in with mom and dad. I started that audiobook you told me about, the Bobaverse.
You're reading it too?
I just started it.
Oh, you got two now. You got two. I'm on book 4.
It's ridiculous.
Book 4. Yeah. It is ridiculous.
Wait till you get to book 4. Right. It's really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
interesting is the right word. By the way.
Yeah, you get a little decompression time.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
And it's good. And it's actually pretty good.
Yep.
Okay, so before we were setting up here, we always find some interesting information. I don't know if it's because we pipe in certain gases to get us to talk more in the room, but you know, Pastor Hunter opened up to us that he was a part of a rap group.
I was a part of a rap group. We had a CD.
Yeah, it's Young Hunter on the mic, got my Bible in my hand, trying to walk it out daily, yeah, I'm following the plan, not perfect, I fall, but I'm back on my feet, grace picked me up when I felt defeat, got that early 2000s flow, little Lecrae vibe, but I'm repping my faith, I ain't gotta hide, school halls loud, but I'm staying true, trying to live like Christ in the stuff I do, yeah, I mess up, yeah, I drift sometimes, but he pulled me back, rewrote my lines, cross on my heart, not just what I say, I'm living for him every single day. Young kid, big faith. Yeah, I'm learning the way. Early 2000s style, but the truth don't fade.
This is legit, people. Legit.
The legit is a word that you could say.
Yeah. Too legit to quit.
Yeah, no, we quit. Right? At some point, we had to hang up the Britney Spears microphones.
Right?
You did.
You had headset mics?
At some places, there's still a camp. There's still a camp that I work at where I use a Britney Spears headset.
Are you kidding me? That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't mess around.
I don't know about the Britney Spears.
Come on, headset. You know that's what it is right there. That's good. Yeah. So you're getting down, and so did your wife get you out of this?
Was this pre or post Hannah?
Well, I was probably 13 when I started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
So you were young.
13 to 16. Yeah.
3-year career.
This is good.
That's a long time.
Yeah,
just saying.
Okay. You know, this is not before YouTube because you were doing this when YouTube was out, right?
Yeah, so YouTube existed. I think there are videos
We've got to find
that
these.
I've scrubbed from the internet.
Oh, right? I don't think they're scrubbed. I think we need to find these videos online somewhere.
Yes.
The rap scene in, where did you grow up again?
Detroit, right?
No. Bliss, Michigan.
Right.
Oh.
Like, where is it?
Bliss, Michigan.
Right. So the
out of
rap
Mac-
scene in Bliss is really big.
The rap capital of
Me
Michigan.
and Brad were literally the scene.
Yeah.
So a lot of competition.
That's right.
For
The
Let's go.
capital.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Of white man rapping, man.
It was
How
fun.
many songs did you have?
We probably had maybe 10.
Yes.
You could do a whole concert.
Yeah.
we
10 songs is a legit hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had probably 10 songs. That
Would you do them all? So you go to a church, they're
three
like,
or four. Yeah,
That's
so if
what-
they
yeah.
did like a talent show, we'd go
Yeah,
out to these things.
sweet,
Yeah.
man.
And they'd be like, all right, yeah, play them all.
Yes.
You
That's
add an
awesome.
altar call in there, you got about an hour and a half show.
Yeah, that was
absolutely.
before I had mastered the art of an altar call.
Okay,
right?
all right. But it was close, you know. And then, then you got to, have a little, change up. Did you
Yeah.
do like outfit changes and stuff in the show?
No outfit changes.
No outfit changes?
No,
You
I
stayed-
was
serious
I was
business.
pretty poor, right?
Yeah. So, okay.
Too close for that.
Help us go to that moment. So what did you wear like when you were doing this?
We had disciple hoodies that we got from Big Ticket Conference.
Okay.
Big
Yeah,
Ticket,
yeah.
right? Yeah. I don't
Sick.
even remember who those hoodies were for. They were for somebody. We just thought
Disciple, probably.
me and Brad
The
were
bands.
like, dude, we could rap in those.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. So you
This
So
is
we would
our
do a whole
wardrobe.
bit. So this was like a comedy bit.
Yeah.
So the whole bit is that Brad and I would put on this persona that we're like this world famous, world traveling
Yeah.
Christian rap band. We just
Right.
got off the plane. We just got off the jets. Diamond ring wearing.
Yeah.
Jet flying. Right.
Yeah.
The whole we'd play the whole bit up and then
Yeah.
just have a lot of fun and then rap about Jesus for a little
And
bit.
did you have bling and stuff? I mean, were you
No. Because again, we're poor. So
The Dollar General band.
that
Yeah,
was funny.
yeah.
The last Sunday, I was talking to a guy. He had all these necklaces on, and I'm like, dude, I like your cross. It's really cool. And I show him mine, and he's like, yeah, this is all like Dollar General stuff.
Sure.
But slow down though.
Yeah,
Because you brought up me being in a rap
That's right.
group.
yeah.
And I was a comedy bit. But
Yeah.
Pastor Alex, you were in a
is
legitimate
serious.
Well,
in your 20s.
yeah, 97.
That's
yeah,
so
95, 97.
funny.
Yeah.
From the north to the south to the east to the west. Yeah, from the north to the south to the east to the west. I'm repping that truth, yeah, I'm giving my best. Wherever I go, yeah, I carry that light. Faith in my walk, keep my heart locked right. Step in the room, let the vibe just shift. Grace in my life, yeah, it's more than a gift. Not just talk, I'm living it out. Even when the pressure try to fill me with doubt. From the north to the south to the east to the west, I'm standing on the word, I ain't living like the rest. Got that joy in my soul, let it rise in my chest. Every step I take, yeah, I know I'm blessed. Hands up high, let the whole world see. It's more than a sound, it's identity. Lex on the mic, bringing truth to the set. From the north to the south to the east to the west.
Yeah, Know Me Funk.
Know me funk.
Yeah.
So I gotta
Yeah.
get it's. So I was trying to figure it out. It's not like Beastie Boys style.
No, it was, we were in the era of like New Jack City. So, it was kind of like dance hall. Yeah, dance hall rap. Yeah, dance hall rap. Yeah.
Okay.
So we did that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it was good. My only claim to fame is that we opened up for Disciples of Christ, DOC, in Gaylord.
And Gaylord.
Yeah. We are at a church.
Again, giant rap scene in Gaylord.
Giant rap scene in Gaylord. We opened up for them, did 3 songs, and yeah, we tried.
That's
They
awesome,
tried.
man.
But yeah, there are pictures of me somewhere floating on the internet of me looking
Was
like
it
I'm
like
dressed up
trying
in
to be
rap.
like early DC talk?
No, we were like,
Okay.
we were,
Way cooler- way
Yeah,
cooler
way
than
anti
that.
DC
Yeah,
talk.
okay.
We wanted to be a little more funkier and
Yeah.
So we tried. But we had a live band. We had
Really?
Yeah, we had a rap group. We had drummers, guitar players, bass players. and
Sweet,
stuff, yeah.
man.
So,
That's sweet.
That's cool.
but yeah,
How long did you do it? 3 years.
no, we did a couple years.
Why'd the band break up?
Because I
You got
don't,
too good.
Stylistic
You got too good.
Yeah,
differences.
I just got too. No, I've never been good live.
You were like, I need my own bus, and they were
Yeah,
like, we
that's what it
can't.
is.
We're not there yet.
No,
You know,
being an introvert that I am, I didn't like being on stage. So,
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Huh.
So that tanked it. And then later on in life, we did. I had a band called Dayglow Betty. We actually made it to the Dove Awards, and we did some stuff there. But I got kicked out of there because I threw my guitar on the stage.
remember hearing this story, yeah.
So they were
You
like,
did what?
Ever the rebel, man.
Dallas Holmes came up to me after. I don't know if you know who Dallas Holmes
You
is.
threw your
Yeah, I bought a
It
guitar
was
from
like
a garage sale.
grunge, like the grungy, like
Yeah.
time to like Kurt Cobain my guitar.
So I
yeah.
did that, and I threw it on the stage and walked out of the stage, and I wasn't trying to not be like mean or anything. It's just kind of like the thing to do.
It's a
right?
rock and roll thing to do.
And so if we would have won the Dove competition, we would have gone on to play on the main stage for the Dove Awards, CCM and that stuff. And they said that what I had done was not very Christian. And so Dallas Holmes came up and talked to me about it. I met Charlie Peacock in the bathroom.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Okay, I was
my
not.
thing.
I was not in a rap group.
What were you? You were in a punk group.
I don't fit your mold, I don't play your game. You chase the world, I'm repping his name. Standing out loud, yeah, I'm breaking the line. Got a fire in my soul, got a higher design. I'm a Christian rebel, I won't back down. Cross on my chest in a lost loud town. Turn it up, let it crash, let them hear that sound. I'm a Christian rebel, yeah, I stand my ground. Woo! Yeah. No chains on me, I've been set free. Not who I was, that's the old me. Live for the king, yeah, I'm all in now. Christian rebel, this is my vow. Christian rebel.
I did my high school bands were punk rock bands.
Yeah.
But the one that was like, we're gonna try hard band. We won the it was kind of like when American Idol first came out,
Okay.
and it was the big ticket. No, it was. Do you guys remember Festival Con Dios? It
No.
was before Big Ticket, okay?
Festival
Festival
Con
Con Dios. It was put on by the Newsboys.
Hola,
It was like the OG Newsboys, right? So like OG, all the original members, and they were in Gaylord. So like
Big
it was,
scene.
I know, right?
Big music
I know.
scene in Gaylord.
So the festival was all of Newsboys' labels bands.
Nice.
Right? So Pillar, before Pillar was big, Pillar,
Yeah,
they
they're
were
big now.
super cool. Anyways, so we played this little like talent show thing and we won it. And is it Phil Joel, the bass player, the guy with the blonde?
Yeah. I know what you're talking
the
about, though,
Entertaining
yeah.
Angels guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So he was one of the guys that was the judges. I remember him looking over, like the competition was not steep, right? So we had sort of something together.
You're like, I'm
Right, but I remember him looking over and being like, shaking his head like an improvement. I was like, we just won this thing, guys. Get out of here. So we got to go to Nashville, and it was SIR Studios, which is like wherever all the big bands like practice and rehearse to go out on tour, and that was the final thing. And the dude, you'll get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
The producer for Tourniquet
Oh yeah.
was
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the judges.
Nice.
So he was in the back, and it was like the first time we ever had like monitor engineers. So we're like hillbillies from northern Michigan, and they're like,
Yeah.
what do you want in your ears? And I was like, in your wedges? And I was like, everything. Whatever you're gonna hear, I want to hear. But Brett Michaels was at our hotel.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was like standing there, and I was like, and he was wearing the bandana.
In Gaylord?
Tiny. No, this is in Nashville.
Oh, Nashville.
This
Okay,
is
sorry.
in Nashville.
Yeah.
But tiny human,
Yeah, he is small,
super small guy. Yeah.
and he was already losing
Like-
his hair then.
Was that a problem?
Like, no, I'm just saying. You think of like,
Yeah. What are you trying to say? Ted?
what
trying to
band?
say,
What
Ted?
band was he in?
He was in Poison.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every rose has its thorn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you think of this like amazing, heavy hitting rock and roll guy, really small,
Yeah.
really small guy.
Smaller than other
Just
people
say
we know.
it. Just say it. Other people
Yeah.
we know.
He was probably similar in stature. Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember he had that reality TV show. It was like Poison of Love.
What's this
or
guy's
something.
name?
yeah,
Something
yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
Brett Michaels.
Greg Michaels. Yeah.
He was
You
like
know-
an 80s guy.
His bandana has real hair sewn into it. So
Yeah,
it
he's a
looks
bald
like-
guy.
Yeah, he's a bald guy.
That's wild.
He's got to like live that persona. But again,
Yeah.
those like B-list celebrities, right? Like it's just kind of fun
Yeah,
when you see him. in
I
real
think
life.
it's hilarious.
Yep.
I don't think anybody in Harbor Light really knows a lot of our backgrounds. I think that's
so
what's
that's
funny.
what we should
No.
do. We should do like Harbor Light Palooza,
Right.
And we bring back
All this stuff.
your funk rap
Oh
group,
yeah,
Pastor Hunter's comedy rap group.
It's gonna cost you.
it's gonna cost. Oh okay,
We're a big deal.
yeah.
Got
We're gonna have to pay-
Where's Brad at? What's Brad
We
doing?
got a
these
tight
days?
schedule.
Brad,
What does your
let's get
rider look
going.
like now?
Yeah.
What does your rider look like now?
It's a big deal now, because the band gets older.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
They only grow in prestige. That's right.
It's a legendary band now.
That's all I
what
gotta
that's
say.
Hilarious.
all I gotta say.
Oh my
That's
god,
fun.
Do a comeback
this would be
tour.
so cool.
I know.
This would be so cool. But yeah,
It'd be fun for like us and nobody else.
Exactly.
It'd be like going to your kids' recital and you're like, good job.
Yeah, this is awesome.
The internet says that Bret Michaels is 5'9".
How tall are you?
We're not talking about that.
He's 5'9" and a half. So
Yeah,
he's a little
That's
bigger.
right. That's right.
I wish.
No,
Right
I
on.
just you have the hobbit genetics.
I do.
It's good.
I do.
But we need you because the rest of us are like Nephilims around
Thank
here.
you.
So we
Wow.
need,
Thanks, guys.
It balances the scale.
You bring us down.
Have
a
you
whole
ever
octave.
have you ever done yeah. Have you ever done the tests of like what character you would be in Lord of the Rings?
No, I haven't.
I'm for sure a hobbit.
Does it really tell you? Like,
Yeah, I mean it's just like jokey
Yeah.
stuff on the internet, but
I don't know. I don't know. What I'd be.
I am you'd be a hobbit too, buddy. Let's
Probably,
be honest.
Let's
Yeah,
be honest. I'd be a hobbit.
Like
Yeah.
let's like second lunch. lots of napping.
yeah, right. That'd be okay. Okay, I'm a hobbit. I'd be a hobbit.
Yeah, it sounds great.
You're like, all right,
I'm a hobbit.
sold.
I would do it. Yeah, I'd do it. Yeah. I wouldn't want anything else.
All right.
All right. Well, you wonder why you take the time to each week to listen to the More podcast. I'll tell you why More stands for maximizing opportunities for right now and for eternity. So stop asking why you listen. Just never forget to listen and pass it on. Well, this week, More podcast is sponsored by Cleaning Nanobots. Spring is coming, which means two things: sunlight and the sudden realization that your house is a disaster. That pile, not a system. That room, not in progress. That drawer, that's a cry for help. But don't panic. The More podcast has you covered. Introducing our brand new, completely unnecessary spring cleaning nanobots. That's right, thousands of tiny robots delivered straight to your mailbox, ready to enter your home and judge you silently while they clean. They'll organize your junk drawers, fold your laundry, and whisper things like, "You don't need 6 phone chargers from 2009. Let it go." So this spring, don't clean alone. Let the More Podcast Nanobot Network do the work while you sit back and pretend that you were going to do it anyway. More podcasts. We're not saying it's weird, but it's definitely effective. And there we go. So we can.
Wow.
You just send us a check of, I think it's $100, right?
$1 million.
$1 million, and we'll send you an envelope. It may look empty, but inside the envelope has all the nanobots that you
Yeah.
need.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
you just open it up and let
You
it go.
can't
and
see
you're
it
out.
because they're nano.
You cannot see
That's
it,
right.
Yeah.
but you give us $100 and we'll give you the nanobots.
Okay.
So we got to raise money for the podcast anyway. So.
All right.
Right.
Well, we're going to take a break, come back, and we'll introduce who's around the table.
You're listening to More Podcast, overcaffeinated, Holy Spirit fueled, and somehow 4 hybrid preachers, Gary, Hunter, Ted, and Alex, fresh out of Area 51. We'll be right back.
Wow, this is who we got around the table. No one knows who handed him the guitar, but it hasn't been quiet since. He once gave advice so specific it solved the problem that hadn't happened yet. Time tried to keep up with him. It failed. Part philosopher, part volume knob, all mystery. If something needs to be said, he's already said it. Louder, Pastor Ted.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. All right. Well, no one cleared him for this. He showed up anyway. Some say he asked a question once and the conversation never recovered. He operates at a speed that concerns professionals. Zero hesitation, maximum commitment. He doesn't follow the movement. He derails it. If things suddenly go off the rails, he's probably just got comfortable. Pastor.
Yes.
Let's go.
Author of chaos. Let's go.
And wow. That would be Satan. and to my left, the man who knows how to do all the, what Pastor Gary says, the buttons and knobs, and with all the skill and talent, he is powered by funk bands, Monster, and the Holy Spirit, Pastor Alex.
Thank you. Yeah, we're here. Yeah,
So we're missing Pastor Gary
We
today.
are. Yeah. He is actually a man on a mission right now.
He just
Yeah.
did the most giant check on the honey-do list.
I know.
box
He
you
makes
could
all
do.
of us look bad.
Yeah,
He
this
does.
is rough.
He does.
Listen,
Listen,
this is a good one.
I
Lisa
still,
K, get
I
ready.
still made a chicken coop for my wife. So,
Okay, so you're
Okay.
on there.
Well,
Pastor Gary inspired me.
removed a wall. Though.
Removed a
And
wall.
put a beam that
okay,
was
this
like
is the crazy thing.
You
Removed
like-
a
it's like a
load-bearing
hoop.
wall and then took
It
off
is
the drywall, and the wall's just shaking inside.
Well, that's right. Yeah,
That wall.
you breathing easy after that. Yeah.
I saw the after work that he did.
Yeah,
looks great.
incredible.
I'm like,
Yeah, it looks
dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Pastor Gary is remodeling
Yeah.
the living room for Lisa K. Well, she's been gone to see
Yeah.
her brother, and
It looks like a Viking
Japan.
hall.
Yeah, hopefully she doesn't bring any knotweed back.
Yeah, don't bring the knotweed back. Yeah, it looks like a Viking hall now. It's got this
Super
beam.
cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
It's gonna be
He did a good
awesome.
job. So he's not here. He's moving furniture back
Yep.
in, getting everything ready for his wife.
She's gonna come back, and that's gonna be amazing because she's gonna see what he did. And I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that, and I'm like, the little measly little things I've done for my wife around the
Yeah.
house. I'm like, nothing compared.
Made you a Lego set.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Honey, yeah, I've hung your picture.
We hung some beadboard in our little dryer room nook, and I felt like Chip and Joanne Gaines.
Good job.
Yeah,
Like
like,
PG sent this picture today, and I'm like,
come on.
okay, well, I guess I got
Gotta start somewhere.
rungs on the ladder still
Gotta
to climb
start,
here.
Well, last week or the week before I hung this, my wife likes these old ladders she gets from Barnes.
Yeah.
And she's been on my case about hanging it. And I'm like, I don't know how to
You
do
have
this.
multiple ladders?
No, we just have one.
Oh,
We
okay.
just have one. And so I'm like, okay, so she wanted to hang it up above the kitchen so she can hang plants off.
Oh,
dry
nice.
plants.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know what to do because this is not my field of expertise. When it comes to hammering a nail, I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to figure it out on the internet, and I figure out how to do it. So I hang it up there, and I get it, it looks good. I actually got it's leveled and everything. And she starts hanging it up there, and she praised me nonstop for days. I'm like, this is amazing. I should do this more often, So then I'm going around like, I'll hang that shelf for you, So
Yeah.
I'm like doing all this stuff.
Good
now.
job, buddy.
But they're little things. They're little things, right? They're not like renovating your house.
That's
kinda
how it
thing.
starts. It's you get the little skills,
Yeah.
and then you use the little skills to make big skills.
I still don't know what to do with these tools. See, Carson was trying to help me out, my youngest. He left me a bunch of tools that he had bought while he was doing all that kind of work. And he's like, I'm leaving these for you so that you can do work on the house. And I'm like, don't. Why waste it? Because I don't know what to do with this stuff. And he's like, I'm leaving it for you. You can figure it out when you get it. So now I got all these tools. I don't even know what to do with them. You know, like I got things that look like saws that could do different. I don't know. So
Remember,
yeah.
You have Chat GPT and YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
You can do anything.
It is
And
crazy.
Chat GPT does well because I was trying to figure out the dead center of a space.
Yep.
So I measured it with my tape measure, and then I put it in the chat, and then it's
Unbelievable.
like, this is the perfect center for it.
It's unbelievable.
I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like,
Many a time.
Yep.
yeah. Well, we're going to come back with some interesting days that were on the calendar that you probably missed that you should have known about. I don't know if you guys have actually heard these before.
Oh, boy.
But these are real dates.
Here we go.
This is not a joke, people. These are
Yeah.
real dates on the calendar. We'll be right back. You've heard of some of these?
Yeah.
You're listening to the More podcast.
Sure.
The podcast no one brings up, but somehow everyone's already heard. The one your friends won't recommend, but keep accidentally quoting. A little truth, a little chaos, and just enough real to keep you coming back. The More podcast, if you know, you know.
All right, here we are. These are the dates that are on the calendar maybe you missed. I mean, we get so caught up in, the schedule, and we just did our schedule meeting at staff meeting yesterday, and we went through
boy.
the entire calendar year.
Did we?
And none of these, I don't know if you guys know this, but none of these
These are
showed
not
up.
on the church website.
None of these were on the church
Calendar.
website. They should have been there.
Calendar,
But
Not on there. that's
okay,
for sure.
so April 20th was 420 Day. I don't know if you know that. If you know what 420 Day is, do you guys know what that
I
is?
don't know.
Okay, well, it is every 20th turns into, yeah, he's like, I don't know.
What's that?
Yeah,
No.
right. Yeah, it's the unofficial holiday for cannabis culture. So I don't know if you knew that or
Yeah.
not. People celebrate, on the
I
internet.
feel like if you went to public school, you know what this state is.
Yep.
Yeah, I think everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so there was some debate, some conspiracy theory about this whole idea of 420. What I read was apparently it started in California with some kids that would go and do this at 420 every day, and so that became the touch point. That was one thing I read.
Okay,
what have you heard about it?
Yeah, I think it's the police call. We've got a 420.
Okay, there
and
you
it's
go.
I think.
I
Now,
mean, I
we
don't know.
We know
There's a
lots
lot
of
of-
officers,
yeah.
so we could probably ask, but
420. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah,
so that's
I don't know,
That's a date that you missed. So it's not on the
So-
church calendar.
so
but
good job missing
yeah,
it. Well
yeah,
done.
right. Yeah, if you missed this date, good for you. Also on April 20th, because
it's
there's
not on
multiple things.
our Google calendar on the
It's
church
not-
website.
I don't know why. I'm like, why do we not celebrate 420? Okay, here's another one. National Lookalike Day. Did you know that was on April 20th?
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
It's
So-
on these are all on the 20th. Okay.
Yeah, so there's three things on the 20th.
Yeah.
here,
Okay, gotcha now.
So National Lookalike Day. So you try to cram a bunch in this date. Celebrity lookalike people, around the world. So if you look like that, there's apparently a group of people that look like Adam Sandler.
Yes, I was just gonna say this.
Yeah.
There's a whole
Website
Facebook page
Yeah.
for it. It's pretty fun, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys look a lot
Oh
like
yeah.
him. Yeah.
And it's just schluppy dads and like too big
Yeah.
of
Flannels
shorts
and gym
stuff.
shorts, yeah.
right.
but their faces look a lot like Adam Sandler, and so they walk around and get called
That's
out for
awesome.
being Adam Sandler. So there you go. Here's another one: National Banana Day. This I don't know. This was not on our calendar either at staff meeting. Apparently, it's a holiday to celebrate the wonderful life of bananas, and then also the opportunity to talk about slipping on banana jokes and that kind of stuff. But I don't know
Why does this need to be a day? Why
don't
do
know.
bananas need a day?
I don't know. It's apparently something very important for.
Well, you got a problem with them?
No, I'm just saying. Hey,
What's your issue with bananas, Ted?
a good way to get potassium, right?
Right. Yeah.
But does it need its own day?
Well, apparently somebody felt that it did, but
Okay.
I don't know. Have you guys tried banana coffee yet?
No, not planning on it.
This is a really new thing. They're selling it at North Star.
Like
in
banana
Indian River.
leaf?
No.
It tastes like
It's got
banana.
bananas in the coffee. Well, the syrup, yeah. So it's banana coffee, and they call it banana bread coffee. It is
Banana
really
bread?
good. Yeah.
Okay, well now you're selling it.
Yeah.
Right. That's banana
We're
bread's got-
getting there.
Right.
Yeah, it's banana bread
brown
coffee.
sugar
So for
and
whatever
kinda
reason, in my
yumminess.
mind, you're taking
Slice of bananas.
sliced
No.
bananas and you're pouring hot water over it, and it's like this is coffee.
This is good. No, it's got the taste of bananas, like banana bread in a coffee. It's really good,
Okay.
actually. Yeah. Actually, another one that sells it is Seven Brew. Have you heard of them in Drivers?
No.
That's good too. I
No,
don't know.
as you can tell, Pastor
banana
Alex celebrates National Banana Day.
Yeah, I celebrate Banana Day. Okay, here's another one. Earth Day. Of course we know about
We know
this one.
about
It was
Earth
April
Day.
22nd. Yeah, this is when we celebrate that the Earth is dying and that we need to do our best to keep it alive.
Do you guys remember
yeah.
Captain Planet?
No,
Yeah, I do.
You don't.
It was on like Saturday morning cartoons. and
Captain
stuff.
Planet, he's a hero.
nope.
And he would
Gonna
shoot
turn
stuff and it would make
pollution
things
into
grow.
zero.
Yeah.
Just as a general reminder to everybody, I grew up on the movie High School Musical.
Oh, okay.
That's how young I am.
That's how young he is.
Yeah.
I always forget that.
Years. Yeah, we do have years on you.
We're all the geriatric crowd,
Right.
And then Pastor Hunter comes in and is like, we don't even. Yeah, it's not. We got. Well, let's see. Most of us, you're a millennial, right?
Yep.
Ted?
Yeah, I sneak in there. Yeah.
I'm a Gen Xer, and you're
I'm like I'm a kind of a cusper. So
you're a cusper. You're like an alpha.
No, oh no. Come on now.
That's too young.
Don't put that on me.
Alphas are young.
No, I'm kind of right in between a millennial and a Gen Zer. Right.
Okay.
So
All
I'm
right.
right on that year.
When does it? That was a new term that I just heard
Cusper?
about. No, alpha. Alpha.
I
Gen
don't know-
Alpha
I
is
don't know this.
that is the generation under Gen Z. Yep.
Okay.
Gen
so
Alpha.
that's the next one. Okay.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
you're
What
not
are they,
that.
what
You're
are they
Gen Z,
stereotyping the Gen Z as or Gen Alphas as?
Gen Alpha are
I don't know.
complete digital natives.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't know anything about
Yeah, they literally
previous life.
they grew up on
The internet.
and same with Gen Zers are the
Right.
same way.
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Millennials were kind of in the transition.
They were the
Yeah.
transitional ones. Yep.
And then my generation, we knew time before.
I know time before.
You know time before?
I remember. Like I think I was a senior in high school, and somebody got a cell phone, and we were like, "Whoa!"
What is that thing?
Yeah,
What is that brick? Yeah.
and it was like $700 a month.
Oh yeah.
like just insane, like to own. And
My parents
broke
bought
the
a
second
bag
you got
phone,
it.
and we got a bag phone for our car, and it was from some like Northern Michigan telephone company or whatever. Something that was just starting up. $1,200.
A month.
No, $1,200
Oh,
to buy
just
the
to buy,
phone.
yeah, okay.
And I don't know
Wow.
how much the plan was, but it's $1,200 to buy the phone.
A bag
phone, and we could never use it because every phone call was like $3,000.
So why own it?
I don't know.
That's a great question.
Just in case.
I'm
You
ready
never
for a
know.
bag
It's an
phone.
emergency. That's the way it was sold.
I'll
to
go
us,
back
yeah.
to that. Okay.
All right, here's another one. Patriots Day Vibe Day, which is was the 3rd of April. A place like Massachusetts this week carries historic energy tied to the battles of Lexington and Concord. So this is kind of historical, but it's more regional. Here's this is one we need to celebrate. Weird weather season in Michigan. This was pretty much all winter. So yeah, we have moments where we have 70-degree weather, and we celebrate those days. We get our shorts on.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys noticed that when we did have that 70-degree day, people were out in shorts.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were like wearing T-shirts and stuff. So
I got out my Birkenstocks and someone
know, Ted.
made fun of me of how white my legs were.
It's like I haven't
at
seen the
worship
sun. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ted wears Birkenstocks, and I just don't like watching people's feet. Summertime's the worst time for me.
I feel like
And Ted-
Birkenstocks are one of the most comfortable shoes that you can wear. And
Yep. Second
my
to
wife,
Chacos.
my wife makes fun of me for
He
them
wears
too, but-
he wears those, and he drives a Subaru. Just going to leave it out there. Where's my wife when I need her right now? Where's my wife when I need her right now?
Well, I can wear Birkenstocks with socks.
That's what I would do.
Little Birkenstocks.
Like
Get those colorful Bomba socks.
No, I just wear my black Bombas. I'll pull them all the way up to my kneecaps.
Then you look like you own a Dunkin' Donuts.
I just don't even care.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
That's what we're
good.
doing now.
All right. Well, we'll come back with Hard Black Bible Tribute. Pastor Hunter, do you have? Okay, you got something. All right, here we go. We'll take a break.
More podcast is not recommended for those who prefer safe, predictable conversations. Side effects may include unexpected laughter, mild conviction, quoting episodes in public, and texting your friends.
And gas.
You've got to hear this. Do not listen while operating heavy machinery unless you enjoy laughing for no reason. If exposure lasts longer than one episode, you may experience a desire for more.
And puking.
The More podcast, use at your own risk.
Puking happens too. All right, well, here we are with the Bible Trivia with Pastor Hunter.
We spinning? No,
not
next week, right?
Is it next week?
It's the first. It's the end of the month right now.
Yeah. Is it the end of the month right now?
It's the 29th.
This is the last day of the month.
don't we?
Okay, so we need to spin, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's spin time.
All right, here we
right.
go.
Pastor Ted.
Pastor Ted, you get the spin. Here he goes. He's got the magic hands.
Come on, lucky money.
Big money, big money, big money.
No whammies.
No way. Amy.
All right.
Amy
I
wins. Feel like
Oh, did I wait
this
it the right way?
week's surprise is
Pastor Amy wins a
a
prize.
hot tub.
A hot tub. Oh yeah. A all-paid trip
It's
to the Bahamas.
We're getting Vernali's gift certificate. Amy, that's crazy. I feel
Pastor
like
Amy
okay.
won.
Okay.
I'm excited for her because I know exactly which one she'd want. So I want to get it for her.
Oh yeah, we've got again. You want to play this game?
You wanna
Maybe
play the
I should
game.
give the pitch after we do the story or our
The
trivia
question? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
give the pitch to why you want to play.
Yeah, because there are prizes. Because
There are good prizes.
Any game needs a prize.
That's right. And you
So-
can win this by sending it into Hard Black Bible Trivia. The answer to this, hardblackbibletrivia@gmail.com, all lowercase. And you could win. So Pastor
could
Hunter,
win.
What's
All right.
what's this amazing question?
You got to do this. I think I'm trying to decide how hard I want to make it. So
Make it hard.
Jesus,
Yeah.
it's in the book of Luke.
Okay.
Jesus reads some scripture,
Yeah.
and it is going to prophetically say what he's going to do next.
Oh,
What
yeah.
scripture is he reading?
This isn't. You're saying the book too?
Yeah, what scripture is he reading? It's in the book of Luke. He reads a portion of scripture. What is he referencing when he reads it?
Okay. All right.
And it prophetically speaks to what he's going to do next.
Okay.
I think I know what it is.
I think
I'll
I do
ask.
too.
I'll ask after the podcast. Remind me to ask.
Ask Chat.
I'm not asking Chad. I'm asking Ted.
Ask Chat GPT.
Okay.
And why do you want to win?
You
Ted?
want to win because we don't mess around with our prizes here.
No, we
at
don't.
Harbor Light.
We don't.
So we have 3 pretty awesome koozies. There's a Yeti koozie. Sorry, 1 Yeti koozie. A Yeti sippy cup. This is a great for your lunchbox, that kind of thing. And then a full-sized hydro flask. I love my hydro flask. I think they're great. This will last years. I know the last thing we need is more water bottles.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone's
sure.
got a water bottle. But the hydro flask is a great water bottle that'll last a long time. It's got Harbor Light on it. They're great looking. They'll stand up. Yeti koozies and sippy cups. And then also, if you guys aren't following, this is a little shout out to Sonny. Are you guys following the Crooked Biscuit and Wolverine yet?
Yeah, I am.
Wolverine, I am.
I'm following.
I am.
I want to go have dinner there because
Yeah.
she's like
Because
bringing
I just
in-
want to hang out with Sunshine.
I know,
Yeah.
for real, because she's super nice. But then she's bringing in crawfish from Louisiana.
Yeah, she is.
This weekend.
Come on.
Right, and
Yeah.
it's real deal. We're gonna
It's
use some
happening.
actual spices and not white
Here's
white
some salt
rice.
and pepper.
Exactly, Northern Michigan people. So this is to the Crooked Biscuits $20 gift certificate. If you haven't checked out the Crooked Biscuit, you got to do it. So
It's gonna be good.
yep.
All right, there you can have it. So you can send your answer into Harbor Light Bible Trivia, harbor-light-bible-trivia@gmail.com, all lowercase, and let us know what the answer is to this passage in Luke. And we'll be right back.
Headphones on. Check. The perfect podcast on. Check. Not sure why you're listening? Good point. Should you keep listening? Yes. Should you tell others you listen to the More Podcast? Good idea. Life just got better.
Hey, before we get serious, you guys know that we have a banner that's coming for the podcast.
A banner?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent it.
I remember seeing it. Can't wait.
We all look like anime characters.
Well, no.
One of us
with
does.
the Simpson version.
No way.
Oh, really?
So we
Really?
look like
Oh, there we
Simpson
go.
characters. Because somebody
That's
around the
sick.
table was upset that their anime character looked like a little kid.
No. So everybody else, you guys need to understand this. So
Mine look good. I'm just gonna say he was
I look pretty
slender.
good too.
everybody looks great. Everybody looks like
The best versions
well drawn, best version of
Yeah.
them they possibly could be, and they look like normal drawings of them. And then mine, I look like this like anime 15-year-old with these giant eyes, and I'm like, I was like, hey, is there any way I can not look like an anime character in this?
It was good.
Which I
don't know.
thought was fair.
Yeah. Well, you
It
know,
is.
every
It is.
picture I found when I was, trolling on your Facebook, you look young.
He just
really
went,
young.
He just went back to like
yeah.
camp days.
Camp days.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
know. There's no pictures of him looking old.
But he's
Like
not
the
old.
rest of us.
There you
we
go.
look like-
He's not old.
I got pictures of me looking like I'm Santa Claus, and
Right.
Ted usually making weird faces, so that's why I was
Right.
only able to use a weird face picture. So
So there you
Yeah,
go.
that'll
you
be
go.
fun, man.
It'll be out there. Yeah.
How
We got a
big- how
banner
big's
coming.
the banner?
it should be here by the beginning of May, the first week of May.
Where are we
So
gonna put it?
It's gonna be right by the coffee connection area.
Sweet.
So when people are getting their coffee, they'll see our
Nice.
mugs on this.
There we go.
Simpson
Okay.
thing, yeah. Well, let's get to something a little more serious. Welcome back to the More Podcast, where the conversation doesn't stop at Sunday, but digs deeper into what God is actually trying to say to us. Well, Pastor Hunter brought a powerful word about the noise in our lives and the intentional rhythms that we need to create space for God. He challenged us with a simple but uncomfortable question. Are we so busy, so distracted, that we've lost the ability to be quiet with the Lord? So let's lean into that together. What stood out? What hit home? And how do we actually live this out in real life? So we're going to jump into the Bible with Pastor Hunter.
All right. So I opened with kind of my pet peeve with movies
yeah,
and TV
yeah.
shows. I hate it when people pause something while I'm in the middle of watching it. Do you guys have TV show
Yeah.
pet
Yeah.
peeves as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have found myself lately being the guy who's on his phone and
Yeah.
everyone in the room being on their phone. So I'm trying to reel that in.
Yep.
So
Watching
it drives
show?
me nuts. Just watching nonsense.
Yeah.
And going, hey, there's a giant screen in front of us. Let's have a shared screen experience.
Yep.
here.
Together.
So yeah.
Rather than
I'm trying to reel it in, boys. So yeah, I need some accountability. there.
Mine is I like to watch a movie. I get into a movie. Maybe it's just me, but then I have this other person that lives in my house that's on her phone while we're watching a movie.
Yeah, can't stand.
And then she will tell me, "Wait, pause this. I want to tell you something." Right in the middle of the movie, and then I have to hear our conversation. Sometimes it could be longer, or the other thing happens is that in our house a lot of times we answer all the phone calls that come in. So because we never know who's calling us or what it is about. She, of course, has way more phone calls that come in than I do. And so if we can get through an entire movie without taking pauses every 20 minutes, it'd be great.
Drives
But it
me
doesn't.
nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like, so I'm like, I sometimes will tell her just, hey, let's put the phone down, watch this movie. If I do that though, then she falls asleep. So I don't know what,
man. Yeah.
she's, yeah. And I'm going to order like $40 after this show. So anyways, but Pastor Hunter, you opened up with how much we hate when a story gets paused, but then flipped us on spiritually. Where do you personally feel the tension between staying in the flow of life and actually pausing for God? It was something that you brought up right in the beginning.
Yeah, right in the beginning. I think we get moving quick and we want to get finished what the thing that we're doing is. And we think if we just keep working and keep pushing that we'll get it done faster. But at some point we have to be willing to say, I'm not going to push all the projects that I'm doing right now. And I'm going to stop and I'm going to pause with God because I know that it is good for my soul. I said it in my sermon I don't think that'll take away from your fruitful life. I think it will only add to your fruitful life. I think it'll make you more fruitful because a plant to be fruitful, it has to be close to the sun. It's got to be able to be around the sun.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's got to be.
S-O-N.
What'd you say?
You're saying S-O-N. Sun.
S-O-N.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's such a good point because, but it's interesting that we really are a culture, especially Christian culture of excuses of why we have to continue to do things because nobody wants to be labeled as being lazy,
exactly,
or ineffective. It's almost like we're competing against our own ideology. About who we are.
Don't you think there's like I don't know the right term. Maybe it's like a kill it culture right now within church, especially church folks. Like I'm just killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it at work. I have this plate that literally is overflowing and I'm just keeping everything in the air. And the sign of a successful human is just being very, very, very busy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so here's the thing that's coming through the train and the tracks for church culture is Gen Z is a generation that I think has watched millennials and Gen Xers do that very thing. They're a little bit more prone to saying, I need to pause and spend time with God.
Yeah.
And so what they'll actually do is they'll actually say no to you.
Yeah.
When you want them to do something for them. And then what'll happen with us as leaders is we'll get annoyed that they said no.
Right.
Wow. I never said no. Why are you saying no? Right. So we got to understand that the younger generation underneath us is actually starting to figure this out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I could give examples of that. Yeah.
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 100%. Yeah. And where does my brain go immediately? Man, they are lazy.
Right.
No, that they might not be being lazy. They might actually be being very spiritual and connecting with God and actually emulating Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. I'm with you on that. I think just my generation, we grew up in a completely different mindset. And it is hard for me personally to have that worked out in my head that this is really what's happening here as opposed to what you just said. I don't know. To me, I lived under a guilt culture.
Yeah.
A guilt culture in the church, so we kind of, you always felt guilty if you said no, or you felt guilty if you didn't accomplish or fulfill whatever demands were available that you had to accomplish, or at least that was a perception of it. And so, and then it kind of trickled over into your spiritual life too, as well. I mean, that's, I think it's interesting, like in my time growing up, that's when all of these Bible plans came out, reading plans and stuff like that. It was during my time growing up. That's when, people are like, you got to read the Bible more, so you got the 90 days in the Bible, all these other things that were coming out. So my culture developed, my generation developed the idea of the Bible plan and made it such a big deal. And now it's interesting, we talk about it now and people are like, good Lord, it's just like, I think Pastor Ted talked about the Benedictine version of, pondering on smaller parts of Scripture and thinking about it. My generation would have never done that. It was too slow. We got to get through the Bible. We got to read it. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's just hard to wrap your mind around it. And my kids are like that too. My youngest is like that. He likes to do going away. And having time at a garden or just sitting down and reading the Bible somewhere or just kind of thinking about stuff. I don't know. For me, it'd be hard. It'd be hard for me to do that because I got 50 other things to do. So I need to read the Bible in the morning, get my devotions done, and check it off the list, and then go to the next thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's. I love this. I think you did a great job. I love this stuff. Good. I think it definitely echoes what church and church history has been saying for a long time.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of historical stuff that we can kind of go back to, ancient practices. One of the things that was pointed out in the Gospel of Mark, and it's in 135, where Jesus steps away in the middle of growing demand. And so for all of us today around the table, why do we tend to treat busyness like a badge of honor instead of a warning sign? So again, I think about the ancient practices of early church fathers, Lectio Divina, the ways of reading Scripture that are a little more meditative. Why is it that is something my flesh pushes against that? You know what I mean? Like I have to tame my flesh to do it. And you mentioned it, Pastor Hunter, right? So when I'm praying and I'm going to set the timer for 2 minutes, all of a sudden my head starts going this way. And and you said a really pointed statement. I'm going to let you say it.
Right? So a wandering mind is actually a blessing, right? I've heard this many times from other speakers as well, right? So your mind starts to wander. That might be the very thing you need to talk to God about, right? That might be what he's trying to get you to come to, the realization that, hey, talk to him about that thing.
Right.
Talk to him about the thing that you wander to, right?
Because that's where your heart is, right?
That's where your heart
And
is.
so
And
God cares about that.
where your treasure, there's your heart is, right? And so if you're thinking about the friend that you had an argument with, or the kid that's
Right.
failing school, or, add in anything where your mind wanders to, right? That might be the very thing that, we need to talk to him about. And, I think part of us is, I think we want to stay busy because we don't like being alone with our own mind.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why people don't like going to bed.
Yeah.
They don't like going to bed because that's the moment where it's quiet and then they're alone with their thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but the truth of Scripture is you're not alone.
Right,
God
yeah.
is with you, right? You got to invite him in and talk to him about it. But I think we like to stay busy. We don't want it to be quiet. If we were really honest with ourselves, we don't want it to be quiet. We would rather it be loud. Because if we really wanted it to be quiet, we would change that. We would figure out a way to change it. Right? I think we enjoy the loudness, just we don't want to admit it. Because I think our flesh knows that if we got quiet with God for long enough, our flesh would get destroyed. Right? There'd be things that would change about our flesh. And that's going to hurt. And I think there's part of us that knows that subconsciously. So we don't even want to go there. And I think there's other things, right? I think there's pride of busyness, right? This is all the things I do. This is how productive I am. This is how many things I get done, right? I think there's that. I think there's also the pressure of busyness, that you have to be busy because things will fall apart if you're not busy.
Sure.
Right? But the world can stop for 15 minutes.
Let me throw this at you.
Yep.
Okay, so my wife and I have been reading just some counseling things we've been reading about. That noise is a trauma response to previous issues. So like people that want to live with a fan have to have noise all the time, have to be surrounded by some sort of noise at some point. It's a trauma response to previous issues, emotional hurt, physical hurt, could be a lot of things. What I was thinking as you were talking, we were talking about it in the car, I wonder if a lot of Christians need to come to that awareness to say, I need healing so that I can be quiet with God, because the noise I'm using as a way to cope with things that I need God to deal with.
For sure. 100%.
You think so?
100%. Yeah, because people just don't want to be alone with it.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to go there. Their mind is going to go there, and they don't want to. They don't want to touch that wound anymore, right? So I'm going to put a bandage over it, and I'm going to try never to look at it again.
Yeah.
And so when we're quiet, I think sometimes we start pulling off that bandage, and we begin to heal. Right? I had a quote in my sermon from Oswald Chambers that solitude heals our hearts from the noise and the fret and the clamor of our world, right? And so that's exactly what it is, right? It heals the wounds of our hearts from all of these things because we're giving it to God. But we'll stay busy enough that we won't even give God the opportunity to do that.
Right.
It's a scary thing.
Yeah, because you can let God deal with the things you're willing to let him deal with, but the stuff that probably really needs to be fixed, the emotions, the feelings, the hurt, the unforgiveness, bitterness, whatever that stuff is. As long as we got noise going on, it's like you really can't hear because you got all the static going on between you and the conversation, and so
and that's always the stuff that comes out in a long conversation, right? It's the long conversations. And I talked about the car, funny story about car ride, right? The story was never about the car ride. The story was about we sat in silence for so long that we finally talked about something real.
Yeah.
And now I can say I know that person, and I really know who they are.
That's a big deal.
That's how conversations work, though, with everybody. Right. Nobody meets somebody for the first time and says, "Hey, my name's Hunter. Here's all my problems." Right?
Yeah.
Not usually.
Don't do that,
Usually, it's you're talking about something superficial. You're talking about some small things, and then you sit there for a while, and then you talk about the big thing.
Yeah, I get the image of the best things that are made take time to make them, right? So a potter making a piece of pottery, right? Working some clay on a wheel. The guy who's PG making expert level furniture or spoons or whatever. That's something that takes time. And I think that analogy you gave of the car ride with, folks you didn't know, I mean, that's such a real thing for our spiritual lives, that if we are consistent with the Lord, there's so much faithfulness that he brings, right? So if there's consistency in your spiritual life, my challenge is, I was just praying with my wife last night, and I was like, we should just pray like this. It was kind of a rhythmic. There was some rhythm to our prayer and sort of a directed prayer around some things. And it was, we just need to keep doing this. And it's not that because God doesn't work the first time, right? It's not that, but there is this sense of like to see breakthrough and to see some things change. You tarry, right? You go before the Lord over and over and over again. And I think there's something about that God sees that, you know, and he honors that. And so I think there's something that's certainly true for us when we are consistent with the Lord and give him adequate time to speak.
Yeah, and I think he wants to hear us, right? There's scripture that says, you know, I scream out to the Lord in the morning and in the evening and in the afternoon so that he'll hear my grievances, right? So that's scriptural, right? You see this. Yeah. And so there's something about consistently coming back to him over and over and over again and then being quiet enough to listen to him.
So the big challenge I think I heard for the day was this idea of talking about rhythms. Yep. And you talked about a daily, monthly, and a yearly rhythm. Can you talk about maybe what's the hardest one that's been the hardest one to be consistent in for you, Pastor Hunter? And then maybe for the rest of us, me and you, Alex, can talk about that also. And maybe just talking about what's realistic and unrealistic in different seasons too.
So I think for a lot of people, that monthly and yearly has never even come to their mind. Yeah. That's never even been an option in their mind. And that's what part of my sermon was. Hey, I'm giving you permission for this to be an option, right? And so this is something you could do, right? Realistically, the hardest one to be regular about is daily, right? I think that's the one that has the most immediate benefit to us, and life just keeps moving, right? And so there is something about forcing yourself to do that every day, even when you don't want to do it, even when you don't feel it. There is something about that. That's probably the hardest one. But I say it's the hardest one, but knowing that the majority of our listeners, and, you know, myself included, you know, rarely will have a monthly or yearly rhythm. So maybe because we never do that, that might actually be the hardest one. Yeah. Right? Yep.
If you've spent any amount of time being a Christian, at some point you probably implemented a daily rhythm.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Or at least, you know,
something.
Trying.
You've tried.
Yeah. But I don't know if anybody's tried you know, I'm going to sit down for 3 hours with the Lord on this Saturday. You know, I don't think a lot of people, you know, we actually had a person in our congregation, kind of an older lady, come up to me, and she was like, you know, I got so much time. It's like I got more time than I've ever had in my life. And I spend 30 minutes with the Lord every single day. But she was like, I was really convicted that I have more time than I've ever had. And I haven't sat down and talked with the Lord for 3 hours once in my life. Yeah. And she's like, that's going to change today. Wow. Right. So it's really powerful. Awesome. Right. Yeah. And so, but okay, you had more to that question though.
Yeah. What do you think? So Pastor Alex, how would you answer that question? You know, again, and is there, I think oftentimes we feel like in our spiritual lives, if the plan can never change, right? So I am a believer today where I do think the plan needs to change. I think you need to, like workouts, you got to shock the body. You got to do something different than you normally do. And so I think that's same with spiritual things. So are there unrealistic expectations? What's worked for you in the past, Pastor Alex? Yeah. And then, you know, what about current seasons too?
Yeah, I think for me, I learned a long time ago from one of the sages in my life is that you cannot make the Bible a job, right? And so if you make your devotional life a job, something that you have to clock in and clock out on, that you're going to defeat the purpose of it from the very beginning. You're not going to do it. Yep. So I've worked on trying to not have that happen. And I'm not saying I'm got it figured out, but, you know, one of the things that I have started to implement in my life that's been working is that Holy Spirit leads my heart to subjects and topics and things that I need to really like know more about. You know, it's kind of like if you're into hobby, what's the first thing you do? You start trying to figure out what the hobby is about. What is it saying? And so I've noticed that more in my life now, in my spiritual journey, that Holy Spirit's been leading me to those things. Like these are subjects that, Alex, you need to work on. Like you don't really understand these yet. You need to get more information. Yeah. So that's been helpful because, you know, I think all of us around the table have read through the Bible a few times already. Yeah. So it's not like we don't know where the books are and what comes in that book and all other stuff. But there are issues where I need to, you know, figure out why do I believe what I believe in this area? Where did that come from and why is this so important? So those are things I've been working on. But, you know, I've noticed that in my life, though, these monthly and yearly things, there used to be a time where I was really pharisaical about it. Yeah. Personally. Like I was like, I would put it on the calendar for my wife. I'm like, I'm taking a weekend off. And I actually had places I would go. I'd go to a camp. Yep. And I would go rent a room for a weekend and stay there.
Yeah.
And my wife would preach on Sunday, and I'd be in the camp praying or whatever else. And I usually would do it to start the year off. Like, God, what do you want me to do this year to help my people grow, whatever. And it was great. I love those times when I would do that. And I think it's really important that we do that. I think it's important that we find those moments together. But the problem that I did was I made it about work and expectation.
Exactly.
Right.
It wasn't personal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I was doing it.
What do you want for the church?
What do you want for them?
Yeah.
So it wasn't personal. So I've noticed that when I have had those opportunities to do that, it has been very effective and very helpful. But it's difficult. There was one time, and we were living in Iowa, and I really felt the Holy Spirit tell me that I needed to get away from what was going on and just go. And so I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm going to do. So we had an extra car, so I took the car, drove out in the middle of Iowa. I don't even know where I was at. And I don't even know how I got back because I didn't have GPS then, but we had. So I'm driving out there, and I found this.
Not recommended.
Yeah, it's not recommended. And I found this place that was like they were digging it out to get the minerals or whatever. So now it's a big pond, big lake area. And I remember that's where Holy Spirit told me to stop. So I stopped there. I get out, and I literally stayed outside all night, just by my car. I had a little sleeping bag and whatever else, and I stayed outside. And I stayed out there till the morning, and it was just praying and taking a nap, whatever. That was probably the most memorable moment I had with God. I can remember to this day. Doing that, and it was so cool. But it was one of those weird moments where God's like, you just need to get away and detox from whatever, and we need to talk. Yeah. And it was a really cool thing. And I came back, and my wife's like, so what happened? And I'm like, I told her what happened, where I was at, and she's like, can you take me to where you're at? And I'm like, I have no idea where I went to.
Sure.
I just know that it was out there somewhere.
It's out there somewhere with God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have similar experiences where I was it was a prayer vigil. And so it was on college campus, and I had a 30-minute segment, and I went with a buddy, and then another guy came early, and he was like, Hunter, dude, I'm the only one who's going to be here. And it's like 2 a.m. So he's like, just stay with me for the 30 minutes. And I was like, yeah, sure. No problem, dude.
Yeah.
So I stayed with him. And it just kept happening. And by like 3 hours, I'm sitting there, and I'm just in tears. Just crying because the Lord is just shining light onto me. Yeah. And, and he's seeing through me, and he's seeing my issues, and I'm being honest with him, but it took a long time to get there. So sometimes, maybe this will be missed on some of our listeners, but probably not, though. When we go to God for other people or other ministries, what we're doing is we're trying to shine God's light onto them instead of allowing God's light to shine to us, right? Because light reveals darkness. Yeah. And so, sometimes I think we want to hide the darkness, and we don't even know there's darkness, but we know that the Bible is going to convict us in places we don't even know was sin, but it shows us what sin is. And so sometimes I think our flesh wants to avoid it, and by bringing it to other people and bringing it to other situations. But like you said, when you were out on the lake, it was this was about you and God, right? It wasn't about anyone else, just him and you. And it's powerful.
I can see why Jesus needed to do that, right?
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, when you're dealing with the sins of the world, the issues of the world, people, we just talked about this before we got in here. I mean, sometimes, some of the things that we have to have conversations with, and we have to hear people's mistakes and the things they're into, or the things that they're trying to get rid of in their own life. It affects you.
Yep.
Because as shepherds of the kingdom, we take it very personal as much as we're there to help. I mean, it's not like we have like some armor on where we don't, nothing penetrates us. I mean, I'm sure all of us have had these experiences. I mean, when we're sitting with a couple that wants a divorce, or they're having marital issues, or there's somebody that has walked into some sin that's devastating to them, and you take it on you, and sometimes it's like,
well, what's happening while that's happening? You're emptying your cup. Right? And so here's what we'll do with people. We'll take our cup and we'll pour out onto them, and then sometimes we'll expect to pour back into us. But oftentimes people won't. So now you're left sitting there empty. So what do you do when your cup's empty? You go back to God to fill you up, and you let him fill you up. So here's the thing. Don't go to your spouse to fill you up all the time. Don't go to your kids to fill you up, or your work to fill you up. Go to Jesus Christ to fill you up. And Jesus did this with his Father over and over and over again. He would pour out and then go to God to get filled back up. And that was his rhythm. That's why I think Jesus was never in a hurry. Right? Jesus was always just moving slow. All of his miracles happened because he was interrupted. He was always in the middle of something. He got interrupted always had enough time for them, and then would perform whatever miracle or do whatever thing that he needed to do for them in the moment.
Yeah.
But it's because he always had this rhythm with God, where he was never caught where he was, on a spiritual empty, because he was always going and filling up his tank with God. And I think we miss that in our culture, right?
Yeah.
I think we don't see the importance of it, or, and here's the deeper thing, or we don't really believe it'll fill up our cup.
Yeah.
Okay, so I say it all the time, that your theology will shape your methodology.
Yeah.
So what you believe about God will shape what you do.
Yeah.
So if you really believe God will fill up your cup, wouldn't you go to him?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course you would. So the question becomes, hey, do you really think he'll do it?
Yeah.
And so if that's where you're struggling with, you should tell him.
Right.
Yeah.
You should talk to him about it, because he will.
I think that's such a powerful statement.
Yep.
Because I think, but I think though too, if we think about some of the other arguments that we have in society, I mean, it's almost like Moses going into Pharaoh's court, right? We're in a society and a culture right now where we're coming up with all these substitute ideas of what God can do as opposed to what we can get from the world. And, our world is becoming very convenient, very easy and to operate in because of all the things we've developed as humans. And it's almost like we're like, well, yeah, I should be going to God, but I also can go get the same thing by going here or doing this, or, seeing a psychologist or going to some, workout class or whatever, the litany goes on and on and on. I mean, you've heard these, same arguments and conversations within the church. It's like, no. I mean, I don't know what the benefits are for that, but I do know, like you just said, what we get from God. This is the most important part. God knows us better than, your workout class or whatever it is. This is where you need to go. And those conversations seem to be more and more common. Like, it's like when you have a conversation about what's going on in your spiritual journey or whatever, and people are like, hey, have you taken the latest vitamin? There's a vitamin out there that'll take care of that. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of stuff. And it's almost like, I feel like Moses and Pharaoh's court. Like, here's my snake. And then they're like, we can do that too. Here's my miracle. And they're like, I can
we can
get that from
do
here.
a version of that.
Yeah. And
Half of that.
That's
right?
the conversation we're having right now.
Yeah. Because what is, what did what do the magicians do? They turn a rod into a snake.
Right.
And then what does Moses do? He turns a rod into a snake, but then Moses turns the snake back into a rod.
Yeah.
And no magician's ever done that before. Right. Because theirs was a trick and God's is real. Right. So there's, there's obviously some benefit in, vitamins and working out and going to a good therapist. There's benefits in that.
There are benefits.
But what is this? What does Scripture say? Scripture tells us that, physical training has some benefits for this life, but spiritual training, has way more benefits because it'll affect us in the next life. Right.
When I just get the picture of the woman at the well, right? Jesus' promise to her is that she'll never be thirsty ever again.
Yeah.
And, the promise for us today is that. And I mean, sorry guys, the promise for us is that we will never be emptied if Jesus is with us, and to go to him and to rely on him and he's faithful in that. And I think that's been true in so many of our lives that, people who are listening today, you can point to stories of how Jesus has been faithful and filled you up. And that's a simple promise, but it's pretty profound and can change your life.
Yep. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy burdened, and I'll give you rest.
Right.
My yoke is easy. So yoke, right? You're doing it with Jesus. The yoke is easy because Jesus is yoked right there with you. Yeah. Right? You're with him.
As we're wrapping up, how would you suggest to people online, maybe they weren't a part of the service on Sunday or they've never heard this concept before, where would we start?
Yeah, you start with a plan.
Yes.
Right? You have to have a plan. Right? You're going to do anything in life that's going to need some consistency. You're going to have a plan. So you're going to work out and lose some weight. You need a plan. You're going to learn a new skill. You're going to need a plan, right? All of these things require a good, solid plan.
Yeah.
And that might take some communication, right? So you might have to communicate with your kids. If you have older kids, you might have to tell your 16-year-old, hey, Dad, from this time to this time, I'm going to be in my bedroom. So handle your business. The 16-year-old will be fine, right?
Yeah.
You might have to talk to your spouse from this time to this time. I'm going to be with God, and we can work that out. Maybe you don't have a spouse, but you got young kids. Like, you work the relationships that you do have, or the moments when your kids are in sleep. So you have to figure out, like, what does the time work for me in my life to where I can give God some time. Right? And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take you to figure it out. And listen, I know we can do it because we figure out everything else out. We figure out how to watch the movie. We figure out how to go to the concert. We figure out all these things. We figure out when we can go get our hair cut.
Sure.
All these things get figured out because they have to happen. So at some point we got to think, man, my soul needs this, because Jesus says, I will give you rest for your souls.
Yeah.
And this is what you really need. Right. And so, and as you do it, I can just about promise you, if you stay consistent, what you have to do will turn into what you want to do. So you feel like you have to do it. That's okay. It'll turn into what you want to do if you do it long enough.
Yeah.
And that's true with just about everything in your life that has some benefit to you. You will eventually want to do it. You think about those people who run marathons and work out all the time, all these crazy CrossFit people.
Yeah.
They had to do it. And eventually now they want to do it.
Right.
Right. Because they realize, wow, this has so much benefit for me. And this
really good.
takes care of me. And this has changed me. But you got to get through it. Here's another thing. Don't start so big that you can't keep moving forward, right?
Yep.
So if we're going to keep doing a gym metaphor, everybody goes to the gym January 1 and they work out for 3 hours and then they can't walk the next day.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, right.
And so I'm not necessarily trying to say, hey, don't spend more time with God than what you should, but be realistic.
Yeah.
Right? So where, if it takes you a ton of work to figure out how I'm going to do 3 hours with God every day, but you have to do all this crazy amount of legwork to make that happen. That might not be the right amount of time for you. Maybe that would be a good once a month thing for you.
Yeah.
Not every single day. So you got to figure out, what's realistic for me in the season that I'm in. And then what do these rest of these rhythms, might look like as you grow in it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the key as you
That's
grow
good.
in it.
What would you, like say for the person that is new to the Bible, what would you suggest to be a first starting point?
Yeah, first starting point, you're just going to start reading the Bible. Man, I love the book of Mark. I've always loved the book of Mark.
Yeah.
It's kind of straight to the point. You're going to know exactly what Jesus did and what he said,
Yeah.
right? And then after that, I would just jump to Matthew and just get through all the Gospels, man. Read about what Jesus did because, man, we are supposed to imitate him. It's hard to imitate him if you don't know him and you haven't read about him, all right? So if you want to know somewhere to start there. But I'd also caution you to know that have some understanding of sin, right? Because you got to understand sin and its effect on humanity to understand what Jesus did on the cross.
Yeah.
So that's like the one prerequisite there is to know that, sin exists. We paid for it with sin equals death, right? So we know this. And so that's why a sacrificial system began so that we could pay for this sin, but it was never good enough. And that's why Jesus had to go to the cross. So you got to understand that when reading the Gospels. It'll bring some context to you, but the Gospels is a great spot to start.
Yeah.
Man, you don't know where to go, but also I'll say this too, man, you're brand new to your faith and you're like, I'm going to sit down, just open up the Bible.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Just open the thing up and read it for 10 minutes and then sit there with the Lord and
Just start somewhere.
just start somewhere.
Yeah.
But people these are all excuses.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start.
Right.
Well, that's great. You didn't know where to start when you started gardening, but you figured it out.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I think the plan thing is so, that's been so helpful for me to have a plan. I think right alongside the idea of a plan is have urgency. So one of the things that I heard on Sunday was I need to do this and I got some time this weekend. So I need to have an extended time with the Lord. Right, I think I do the daily thing okay. Certainly can use some brushing up there, but the that next step of here's a couple hours or whatever. I got time on Sunday, so urgency to do it. Is it a big deal? Because you can have all great intentions in the world and talk about how you're going to be, Bible guy or whatever. Do it. Make sure you have a plan in place, but then have the time in which you're going to execute that plan.
What's the old song? Like, as the deer panteth for the water, so my soul.
Oh, you're
the
taking
next
it back
line?
there.
What's the next line? Longs after you, right? Why does the deer pant? It's because it's running from something. Right. It's because it's something evil was chasing it that's trying to kill it. So we got to understand, the enemy is after us. Yeah. And so our soul, as the deer pants for the water, so our soul should be, because Satan's after our soul, and so we should long after God, right? And there should be some urgency about that. One last thing before we close, and I know I'm going over time, I think, but man, if you spent, you'd have to do the math yourself, but I did it a day or so ago. If you spent 22 minutes for 300 days out of the year, and then you did 2 hours once a month with God, and then you had 1 day, so kind of a 12-hour stint with God one time a year, you'd be looking at somewhere around 6.5 to 9 days spent with God in your year.
Wow.
Really?
You can spend a whole week with God.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's
And
pretty
when
good.
you start
That's doable, folks.
when you start conceptualizing it, like, man, I could spend an entire week with God every year. Man,
Imagine what he'll
That's pretty
say.
good.
imagine what he'll say. Imagine what he'll do in your life.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll end this podcast the way I started my sermon. Actually, I don't think I did. I might have actually cut it out. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Oh, you're getting extra stuff.
Acts chapter, what is it? Acts chapter 2. You know, Peter is there, and there's another disciple there, and the people are looking at them, and they're like, man, these people are unschooled, they're untrained, but they knew one thing to be true about them, and that they've been with Jesus, right? So when we've been with Jesus, he will change us from the inside out, and people will know, and your life will change.
Yeah.
But we got to be able to make it consistent. And sit
Good
with him.
word.
So
That's good.
we can do this, guys, and it is absolutely life-changing. I truly believe it can change your life because God specializes in changing lives.
That's good. Well, that was Pastor Hunter. This is bonus material, man. We got bonus material. We're going to start putting this on Peloton and make some extra money. Yeah,
Come on.
Or Patreon. Sorry,
Peloton.
Riding your bike.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a Patreon.
Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon subscribers. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Have a good week.
You have found us. More podcast, where we want you to know God more deeply, find lasting freedom, discover your destiny and make an eternal difference. Now,